Hey everybody, welcome to What It's Like to Drive. I'm here in rural Massachusetts looking at a very unique vehicle. I know some of you you're getting older in age. You want something a little bit older, something distinctive, but you need 4 seats for the family. You need a little bit of luxury, but you like a lot of power to go with it. So today we're going to be showing you what it's like to drive a Land Yacht. 1, 2, 3. Hey everybody, and welcome to What It's Like to Drive. Yes, behind me, your eyes do not deceive you. This is a 1966 Cadillac Deville. This thing is gigantic. It's 18 feet 8 inches, and when it comes to luxury, back in the day, the Cadillac was the name to go by. And it's one of those things, if I'm going to show you exactly what it's like to drive one, I think I should find the king. What's even better is that this is a rolling piece of artwork. I mean, every detail to it was done by the current owner to make it look as distinct and cool as it does right now. But does it drive that way? Well, that's what we're going to discover in a moment. And then after that, we're going to look at, obviously, what it's like to drive. We're going to look at the upkeep, maintenance costs to it, looking to see if this is really something that can be daily driven, obviously. And then some of the things that are evident with this vehicle that you may not find in every kind of vehicle out there. So we're going to take a look at everything. We're going to go over the details to you. Get ready to get in the driver's seat. This is going to be awesome. So hey everybody, I am in a 1966 Cadillac Deville. It's got a 429 engine in it. If you're wondering, that's big. This vehicle is intimidating, to say the least. It's big, it's large. I really can't wait to drive this because we've already taken the ride down to see what it's like, but it's not on air ride, it's on a regular suspension. It really feels good for what it is. So I've slammed this puppy into drive 1. Big, gigantic pedals. The one thing that I really love about this car already is that you can see everything everywhere. You want to look back one way, you want to look back left. Wherever you want to look, I can see perfectly. Hope you can hear it on the video, but we're going to try to get a grasp of it too, is the sound of the exhaust. The exhaust on this thing is perfect. It was made to be this way. Unlike most cars that have a very big drone to them where it's hard to drive, it's hard to hear, I could literally take this car on a long distance ride with no problem whatsoever. Nice big steering wheel. It's nice. This right here doesn't have an air ride system. It has a static ride system. And that's one thing that I felt about all these other cars is when I drove it, I felt like I had to spend a ton of time kind of getting myself acclimated to the car. With this thing, I got right in, I pulled the drive, I made sure my mirrors are right, and then I was on the road driving and literally having fun. This is a super fun ride, and it's whether you're relaxed or you like that muscle power in it, it feels like it has all of it all dialed into one package. I cannot say enough nice things about this car to really convey the feeling of the exhaust sound, the feeling of the big body. One thing I was really kind of worried about was I'm going to take turns and not be able to do the turns because it's a much bigger vehicle. I don't really feel any of that. I feel like I fit in the road. Probably would be a problem if I was trying to park it, which I may defer to the owner to do that. But in the same respect, it's just a dream to kind of just float along on the road feeling like you're on a cloud. And I mean, that's something I only felt with air ride, and now it's just with this big vehicle. You feel it in something like this. Putting the power down. One of the things that luxury cars do as a trick is they add a lot of torque to their engines, and with this big 429, it makes this car, even though it's big and heavy, feel like a really light car, really fun to drive. Okay, so what's it like to drive? Before I even start that, I have to make a confession. This is the kind of vehicle that I would like to buy myself. And so I came into this, I had the same kind of fears that everybody else has. You go into it and you say, is it going to do what I want it to do? Is it going to be that burly car? What's it going to be like? And the thing was, is it really, really impressed me. One thing that I was worried about was the size of it. I didn't have to take turns wide or do anything of that. Really just drive the car like normal. It does feel like a boat, so it does kind of float when it drives, which is something a lot of people may not be accustomed to. But when it came to power, it really made it where it counted. And that's the other thing in luxury cars, it's very important to have torque in it. So this car had power where it counted. It had a lot of get up and go, and that was the best part about it, is that it didn't feel like a big heavy car. It felt like a luxury car. So it had power where it counts, and that's why I think it made it very distinctly fun to drive. It's the kind of car that you can go fast in if you need to, and the kind of car that if you want to go slow, you can go slow. And it looks good no matter how fast or slow you drive it. Okay, so what is it going to cost to own this gigantic car? Well, the owner himself paid $4,000 for the vehicle. Yep, that's right, $4,000. And the thing is we really discussed that because I kind of was like, I've seen a lot of old cars and like these things get expensive, and we really couldn't get much more than probably $4,000 to $10,000. It really depends on the vehicle, the person that's the seller. Obviously, do any kind of research that you had. To do the work to it, he actually put in around $1,000 for it. Now, before I even distinctly put that number out there for you, I want you to kind of ignore it. If you're the kind of person that does your own work and can work on this yourself like he does, yeah, you probably won't spend as much money as you think. If you're not the kind of person that would do your own work, the paint job on this alone could throw a lot of money at you. The restoration work is the biggest part of this vehicle because once you get it, they always have problems. So once you get these, it's going to be new this, new that, going through the upholstery. It's got to look good on the inside. It's a luxury car. So a lot of things that you're not going to worry about on other cars, you're going to be worried about here. Interior is going to be big. Wheels, tires, engine, everything. There's nothing small about this car. And that's not even taking into account air ride. I mean, the air ride system done right alone could run you, up to $7,000 for this whole setup. So that's the thing is if you're looking at a vehicle like this, you not only want to take into account the cost of the vehicle, because that might actually be the easy part. What you want to look at is the amount of work that's going to take to get you up to this level, and to see if you're ready for it. You may not be ready for this kind of paint job, and don't take it personal if you are, because there's a lot of people, I myself am not ready to put the money into this paint job right here, paying somebody else to do it. It would be really, really expensive. So what about the upkeep? Well, that was the thing that got me about the upkeep too, is really it's got a regular engine in it. It's got regular wheels and tires. This one actually had springs, so you didn't even have upkeep with air ride. Really, this is the kind of car that you could do oil changes in your backyard and probably change the tires yourself too. In fact, I'd probably suggest getting under the hood yourself and figuring out and learning some of the stuff out there. I mean, these cars are older and they're easier to work on. A lot of people learn to turn wrenches on vehicles like this. So if you have to bring it to somebody, obviously you want to bring it to somebody who is reputable and somebody you like. But the upkeep on these things is going to be a breeze. The really big thing is that this car is power everything. It's pretty much the reasons why some of the jobs were easier. So unlike race cars where you're kind of not worrying about AC and you're not worrying about power steering and all that kind of thing, this one you're going to have to worry about that. So there's going to be a couple of little upkeep items that are bigger than the whole, but in the long run it's going to be a dream. So can you daily drive this car? And unfortunately I'm going to really say the word no. Yeah, you probably could, but I definitely wouldn't run it the way we're seeing it now. This car worries about speed bumps, it worries about road conditions. There's some things that it's gonna take into account. As a weekend car or a show car, perfect car. If you put air ride in it, you'd probably be able to get over those things. But in the same respect, there's a lot of things that are going to be wear and tear with this item that I can see a lot of people saying, no, I don't want to take this out daily and drive it around. I mean, if you did a paint job like this, you're obviously going to be worrying about paint, and I know I would. So I know that part's kind of a bummer, but you know what you're getting into when you get a car like this. And if you are the kind of person that can find a way to daily drive it, more power to you. I hope you can find parking spots, and I would probably stay away from valets, but regardless, it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This, I have to say, was an enjoyable experience. I was really impressed by this vehicle, and I'm pretty sure I would be impressed by a lot of cars like this. These big body vehicles just have a certain stance to them that it just can't be matched by much anything out there. Big, obtrusive, the kind of vehicle that you drive down the road and people say, look, get out of the way because I'm coming. So I hope you enjoyed it. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell icon because you don't want to miss out on more awesome vehicles like this. And I really do want to thank this awesome Land Yacht for showing us what it's like to drive.